Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Punk Rock Saves Lives PMA session for 11. I'm skipping ahead already. 11/25/2020, the night before a lot of people have a day off from work. A lot of us, I don't know what that is. I've been on the road or in a retail establishment every Thanksgiving that I can remember. And we sympathize with any of you out there that are working tomorrow. I am going to personally stay home and stay out of the COVID. I don't think many people, we talk about this a lot. My income right now, because we can't tour, is DoorDash. So I don't think a lot of people are going to order DoorDash tomorrow. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm sure I'll be driving like crazy with, because we do all the retail deliveries too. So I'll be doing a lot and hopefully pay the bills over the weekend. To tell everybody out there, I want to throw a huge thanks for the Giving Tuesday fundraiser started today. The Punks and Pets, and I think over 40 or 45 people have ordered already. Just to throw out what it is, we have a giant list of artists, and it's changing every day, and a couple have added already. I've got to add Robert from Franks and Dean's. It's going to draw a few. But what you do is you donate $25 to Punk Rock Saves Lives just on the front page of our website, punkrocksaveslives.org. There's a little form you'll fill out about your dog, your cat, your lizard. Someone asked about could we have someone draw an albino crayfish today? And I went, I'm sure we can try. But our awesome list of artists, including Jay Navarro, Nathan Maxwell, Shelby Maxwell. I could go on. There's so many. Most of Masked Intruder are in, and most of Counterpunch are in their drawing. And big shout out to our Counterpunch boys for signing with Thousand Island for North America and SBAM for Europe.
That's,
great guys.
Able to.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
good.
They signed and announced day after day. They're dear friends of mine and have been for a long time, and I'm very proud. I've heard the new album. Make sure you're ready for it. It's truly badass.
I can't wait for it.
That's one was a banger, man. I loved it.
Yeah. And Kyle from Counterpunch is moving to Denver, so we're going to get to hang out more. And he joins the long distance bands. Woo! We know that story.
Yep.
Have we not gone live on Facebook? Weird.
It says live up in the corner.
Yeah, I know.
Live up in the corner on my phone.
It's doing something weird on. I'll just remove.
I've seen a couple comments.
Well, no, it was from the mental health page. I don't know why it didn't go live there, but I just fixed it, so we're good. So what you do is you donate $25. You put a picture of your pet. Well, you'll end up emailing us the picture afterwards. Don't get fooled by no upload for the picture. They will. You'll get an email afterwards confirming that you donated, and another email saying please submit your dog or cat, your pet's picture back to us, and that'll come to us after 1 week. We're only taking orders for the first week here, and after that first week, we will distribute those randomly out to all those artists. We can't guarantee who you're going to get. There's no way to do it. If everybody wanted Nathan Maxwell, he doesn't have time to do however many orders. But our artist will take your pet, draw your pet the best they can. Now that's the trick. A lot of these people are like, I can't draw to save my life. And I'm like, that's part of the charm. Do something what you think is cool. So you might get something childlike, you might get a professional drawing, but it'll be a really rad memento of your pet signed by the artist and for Punk Rock Saves Lives. So please check that out. We're only going through Wednesday, of next week. So 1 week to order. It's kind of our Giving Tuesday fundraiser, but we wanted to get it up pretty quick, and anybody can get it. Richard, I think that could probably happen if someone could draw Richard's prosthetic. I think we could make an exception for that because he's been with us through this whole thing, and we will work on that, Richard. I bet we can. I really bet we might could get one of your buddies, maybe one of the Authority Zero boys, to draw that. So he loves them. If you don't know, Rich is our dear friend who is the doorman at Hogs and Heifers, where we have our shows in Vegas every year. Rich, right before the first lockdown, was hit on his motorcycle and unfortunately lost his leg. Yet he's been tuned in with us through all of these, while he's been in his rehab center and the hospital and everything. And he tells me all the time how much he learns from this and how we talk. And it's, all sorts of cool stuff about, it's okay to say I love you to your platonic friends. It's okay to have differing views and be friends. It's okay. There's so much. So that's what we get out of this for people. I've talked a whole bunch, and so let's do our normal welcome everybody in. First off, I'm going to go left. I don't know. I always mess this up. My co-host almost every week, and our mental health advocate, Mr. Dan Falkenthal. How are you over there in Chicago, brother?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Starting to see a little bit more snow activity, which looking forward to. But overall, doing well.
We had about 6 inches night before last, and it's almost gone already. That's the way Denver works. We get dumped on, it melts, and we go on our lives. But what's going on in the mental health world this week, Dan? You got some people out there talking? Are you seeing other organizations doing any rad things, or what's going on?
Yeah, Hope for the Day just released. They started a few years back. They started their own coffee shop, which is 100% nonprofit in Chicago.
Sip
with
for Hope?
Dark Matter Coffee. Yeah. And so now they actually have their own roastery. So they are actually making their own coffee beans and their own process straight through for themselves, which is awesome that they co-branded with Dark Matter in Chicago for years. And now they're branding their own coffee. So I have a bag coming in soon. I'm looking forward to trying that out.
Hey, when you're talking to them, let's talk about a Punk Rock Saves Lives coffee. Come on. Yeah. They might want to do a cross branding. That would be pretty rad.
I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
I think it would be amazing to have a Punk Rock Saves Lives coffee.
Yep. We have, Clinton. Oops, sorry, Leland.
Sorry, I'm speaking up. Sure, I'll wait to talk about coffee.
No. It seems like I cut you off somehow. I don't know how that's working, but Clinton was with me. We've actually have a Punk Rock Saves Lives beer thanks to Tim Bozanowski's. Did I see his name right? I always screw his last name.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. From the Lucky Egypts, works at a brewery there.
Took me a couple of years too.
Yeah, a couple of there in the Oakland area, and they made us a Punk Rock Saves Lives beer on an initial run, and we had it when we went out for my right before COVID, when we went out for my 50th birthday with the faction. We went and had the beers and hung out with him, and Clinton came and hung out. It was awesome. So to introduce that one below me, who I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, Clinton, or what's your go name for the band?
No Less.
No Less of United Defiance, an amazing East Bay hardcore band. It's hardcore.
A lot of hardcore.
There you go.
A lot of hardcore.
And Clinton, if we talk about this every year, I didn't get all year. I didn't get to announce every band that was supposed to play at the Hoedown this year, and United Defiance was on the shows, and we unfortunately didn't get to have, but I bet we'll get them there in the future. So I'm not worried about that. But as soon as we get through all this, and then so Clinton, you're in the East Bay area. What's going on out there? How's the weather? How are the people? Are people following lockdown rules? What's going on? So
unfortunately, not at all. I work in grocery stores and stuff like that, and they're just packed all day long. And trying to keep distance, and the weather actually has been really, really nice out here. But unfortunately, some people are gonna people and not really follow their rules.
Yeah, the big buzz today in Denver was our mayor was on TV today telling people to stay home, not to travel for Thanksgiving, and follow these rules and all this, and immediately left when he got off, went to the airport and flew to Mississippi. So people are not, this is not political, but if you're going to tell people to do stuff, shouldn't you do it? So
lead by example.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people are going, a lot of people, look, Jim Henry just said our mayor needs to be thrown under the bus. So I'm not getting political, but he did exactly what we're trying to tell people not to do, so we can get through this and bring our lives back. We want touring. We want music. We want to be able to go stand at a concert and have the singer jump on your head. We want our punk back, and we'll get it, but we've got to get through this. Mackenzie's not with us this week. She is handling some family stuff, and she is very sorry, told me to tell all of you that she loves you. And instead, we brought our awesome artist liaison back. Leland is down below me. Look at that beautiful face. If you don't know, Leland has been involved with throwing some of the most cool music festivals that have happened, like Music for Cancer, and what are the others?
Red Bridge.
Red Bridge, and there's another one. There was one.
I got on as production manager for another big festival in Victoriaville, Canada, called Rock La Cause, and
that's the one I was.
We had to cancel for this year, unfortunately. So we had an amazing lineup, but we were able to rebook pretty much everybody. So we have Safe Ferris and Face to Face, and unfortunately Descendants couldn't make it back. But I just booked. I don't think I'm allowed to say who yet, but I just booked an insanely killer metal band to take their place. So yeah, we're for next year. We're hoping the Canadian Health Ministry will say that it's okay to have a festival again, because I think a lot of that is contingent on, the rollout of a potential vaccine and also on everybody masking up, whether you're left or right or, up or down or whatever it is you are, like just trying to keep everyone safe. Yeah, I think we hit a weird, not to get political, I just think we hit a weird bump in this country where wearing a mask didn't become about, about caring for your fellow man and about saying, okay, this might be uncomfortable AF for me, but I'm hopefully helping keep others from getting sick. So anyway, sorry, that's my mash for the afternoon.
I had mine in my pocket. So
nice to be here, and thanks for having me again. Maggie said she couldn't hear me earlier, so I don't know if everybody else can hear me, but I hope you can.
You're clear.
Hey, Facebook land, can anybody hear Leland? Someone
Loud
will
and clear.
Somebody give me a comment. So Robert from look at that. Robert from Franks and Dean's popped up and said this is one of his favorite parts of Wednesday every week. We love Franks and Dean's, and sound is good. He can hear you good, according to Phil.
Awesome.
But where are you now? Leland, you're in Connecticut, correct?
I'm close to Connecticut. I'm in a town called Longmeadow, which is in western Massachusetts. So I'm about like a 90-minute drive roughly from Boston, and about the same into New York City. And we haven't actually, even pre-COVID, it was, like we moved here, we were unpacking, we were working today, and then I want to say like, gosh, man, my one trip to Boston that wasn't for like tourist stuff where we were going to see, Paul Revere's house and just like some amazing, things that are part of history was going to meet the Barstool Preachers for the very first time. We're playing down there in this tiny bar, an amazing group of guys. And I almost didn't go that night because I wasn't feeling that great, but I went, and they've just turned out to be some of the best dudes ever. And then the one trip I had to New York City that wasn't for, with my brother for Christmas or whatever, was to finally go get to check out The Daily Show live. And it was the very last broadcast that they had people in the audience before they started to do everything from home. So anyway, this is, but interesting part of the country. So.
And you were out there in the Bay Area also, and that's how you know so many of the bands coming out of there that we work with, right? So
I was, Oakland was home for almost 7 years, actually. Bouncing back and forth, and we lived in Concord briefly, which is really weird because now that I'm on the East Coast, it's not Concord, it's Concord.
Concord.
Yes, but there it's Concord. And
you could always tell when somebody's not from the East Bay because it's Concord.
Yeah, that's true. But I actually got to meet Clinton after a whirlwind trip in Vegas with the Authority Zero guys, and he sold me like one of my favorite Les Paul guitars. And it was really funny because he goes, "Hey, Mike, I have this great band. Have you heard of us?" And I was like, "I haven't really had a chance to check out any." It was right after we first moved, and he's like, and I said, "I haven't had a chance to check out really a whole lot of people here," but he gave me their CD, and I listened to it, and it was amazing. And I was like, yeah. So he said, "I love Authority Zero. Do you think we could open for them?" And I called Jay, and Jay said it was okay. So they were on their very next show, and it was a lot of fun from there. So I can let Clinton talk about that if you want. I talk too much. So
collaborations are always beautiful. Connections are beautiful.
Oh, I totally want. Here's my demo tape to Leland. And you know what? The thing is that literally started one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. And it's just a chance that I actually would talk to somebody outside of, business and sales, because I'm a salesman professionally. And, I took a liking to Leland right off the bat, and, his positive energy just kind of fed off of me. And I just have to say this, the guy literally has changed my life for the better, and I'm a better person for knowing him. So thank you, Leland.
Thanks a lot.
And, that Authority Zero show means a lot to me because we have a group picture with 5 Days Dirty, Atomic Machines. It was actually the last show that they had played before their singer had passed away. And Ekin is Dead, which we became really good friends with those guys as well. It was just a show that I'll never, ever forget. And, it's those guys, it was Chris Dolly's first tour with them. So got to experience what that guy is behind the drum set for the first time. And that was just unreal.
Unbelievable, isn't it? So
yeah, it's like an experience.
Yeah. We're just kind of shooting the bull tonight, but one of my favorite moments ever was when Authority Zero was in Fort Collins recording Persona Non Grata at the Blasting Room. They did a secret show as the Irish Car Bombs. Oops, I just gave up their nom de plume. If you see Irish Car Bombs, you might want to go. They called me and said, "Hey, we're going to do a secret show over at Surfside 7, which is John Snodgrass's wife's bar, which is an amazing bar." So once again, to tear off on this, support your local bars, even if you can't go to them. Call them. See if you can buy some drinks ahead. See if you can
buy merch.
Buy a shirt, buy something from the bars and the bands, and do everything you can right now for small business. And small business to me is bands, is small charities like us, all sorts of stuff. But there's local businesses in every town. Name a few right here. A couple told you that if you're anywhere near, go check these out. Here in Denver, there's a place called Hope Tank. They do all of their products. A portion of every single sale goes to a nonprofit, and there's like 100 nonprofits represented. And so their business model is to donate. So check that out. Mutiny Information Cafe here in town, unbelievable. So check that out. And if you like fish and chips. If you do that, they have vegetarian options on some stuff too. Sorry about the corgis outside having a puppy pit. But see if you can buy food. Yep, they're having fun. Hey guys.
Not just
I'm
sorry, not just restaurants, but believe it or not, man, we've been doing so we weren't obviously it's just Maggie and I for Thanksgiving, and we were thinking, how can we, not, I hate to say, how can we not support a huge conglomerate of a grocery store? So we actually found a local deli, a local family deli that was cooking Thanksgiving dinners, and it was reasonably priced, and it was hey, you can get a dinner that feeds anywhere in between 2 and 4, and it's $40-$50 or something, and yeah, we went and ordered Thanksgiving dinner from them since we weren't having anybody over, and it's the first time I haven't cooked in 10 years, but I was going to pick it up earlier, and the guy just said, hey, thank you so much for helping us, because this has been a rough time. I mean, my family makes their bones selling sandwiches, and we have obviously Uber Eats and folks coming to pick up occasional sandwiches here, but it's nothing it's 1/10 the business that we were experiencing prior to COVID. And so we're just trying to keep the lights on. And I was like, man, it's my pleasure. And he said that tonight, but I didn't realize how much of an impact just, buying a couple of meals or buying a 6-pack of beer or buying, whatever would help people. So that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's something that's important. So find ways to support your locals. Go buy gift certificates. That helps them now, and you get to eat later or drink later or buy albums later. Whatever, you got to support if you can. But what I didn't finish saying was one of my favorite moments was Surfside 7, Authority Zero playing as the Irish Car Bombs. They debuted a lot of songs. They played a bunch of cool stuff. But Bill from the Descendants comes, and watching him, he was kind of behind Dally, kind of behind. The stage is here, and the bathrooms are behind the stage, and there's a little wall. Well, Bill was laying on the wall, just intently watching Dally. And for one of the best drummers alive to watch Dally that intently I was geeking out, and I know Dally was scared. He was like, man, I was scared to death. And I'm like, why? You deserve to be up there, brother. So
absolutely.
But I remember seeing, there's a picture of it too. There's a picture of Bill totally watching, and it's so cool. So and
that actually reminded me of if you don't mind, if I had taken my kid to see Authority Zero. It was the last show we got to see this year in Sacramento. And it was completely mind-blowing. My daughter adores Jason. And when we were in Canada, when we played with them in Canada at Redbridge, Jason actually did a video because my daughter was going through a lot of depression and stuff like that. And Jason did a video for her saying everything's going to be okay. And so I'm at the bar, and I feel this tug on my shirt, and I'm like, honey, you can't be here. And she just that's Jason right next to you. And all of a sudden, this bear hugs me, and it's Jason. And they treated us absolutely like family. There's actually I have this picture, I'll send it to you, Rob, of Jason singing to my kid right off the stage, face to face. It is the coolest picture I own. It made me teary-eyed when I seen it. It was captured by Scott Reamers of Tattered Press, Reamers. But another cool part about that was Travis, as my kid's first show ever up at the front of the stage, got a little uncomfortable. Travis, the tour manager of Authority Zero, seen that they were uncomfortable, pulled them to the side, onto the side of the stage, made sure they had water, and it was just amazing how they treated us like family. And
everybody, please send some positive thoughts over to Travis. We've been following him. Travis is on our advisory board, and we love Travis to death. And Travis, like me, is a diabetic, and unfortunately had a horrible bout with ketoacidosis, which is a diabetic problem where your body basically starts to eat itself. It starts to eat the lining of your stomach and digest yourself. for lack of better terms. It's a lot more than that, obviously. But Travis had to spend some time in the hospital. Once all those bills, which I know these two, but once all those bills and everything start to show up, we're all going to have to pitch in and figure out a way to help Travis.
Absolutely.
One of the craziest and most beautiful men alive. So if you ever get to meet him and you're above the age of 18, make him show you his tattoo on his leg. That's all I got to say. Yeah. But you have to be above 18. You're not allowed to see that below 18.
He's probably at this moment not wearing a t-shirt.
No. And somewhere he's trying to find a sushi burrito.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I do not understand the magic of those things, but there used to be a sushi burrito truck outside my work when I worked on California Street in the financial district, and people would line up at like 8 a.m. for a truck, food truck that didn't open until 10:30 just to get one of those sushi burritos. But I never I never got in line. I never got one, so I've missed out. So when Travis gets better and we can help him out, we're gonna have to hit that sushi burrito thing together.
Yeah, we'll find a sushi burrito truck and park it in front of his and Deanna's house, and we'll all just show up when this is all over. That'd be pretty great. But yeah, keep your eye out. I don't know when and everything. It takes a while to figure out hospital bills and everything like that. I'm sure Travis will be reaching out to our friends at Music Hairs, and that doesn't cover it all. So just be prepared. Really hit you for that. I know we hit you with a lot of this, but that's the idea of Saves Lives.
Your camera's cutting out real bad, Rob. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Am I the only one seeing that?
No.
Well, y'all all dropped out.
So it's our fault.
Am I there? You all dropped out on me. No, I don't know what it was.
You started
could have been my
thing and turned into like the ghost in the machine. Yeah. So Clinton, you got to talk to us a little bit about what the band's, what's going on there, right? Or something.
Yep.
We're recording our record Change the Frequency right now. We got 10 songs basically done, and then we started writing again. We had a good momentum going into COVID, and unfortunately just hit the brakes. Our guitar player Sasha moved to Portland last September. We were able to do shows and just kind of fly him out and meet in Canada and wherever we needed to play. But with COVID, it's a lot harder to fly and have any practice. So we've all basically had to buy recording equipment and go that route. So it's definitely been a slower process than what we would have liked. I just definitely want to shout out our record label, Thousand Islands Records. Again, they've been amazing to us. And we're really excited about this record. It actually, it has a lot to do with mental health. It started off, the first 4 or 5 songs, just really, really dark stuff. Some of the darkest stuff I've ever written personally. And then it started turning around to, more of, moving forward and, putting darkness behind you and ways that you can put darkness behind you. And I give a shout out to my guitar player, George, who came up with the idea. Me and him were talking, kind of having a heart to heart. And he goes, when we get back, and this was when we went out for Music for Cancer, he said, when we get back, he's like, I have to kind of just change the frequency. And just light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, that's the name of the record. And that's the whole idea is changing the frequency, is moving forward. If you don't like where you're at in life, find a way to change it and move forward. That's I seen that. But
yeah. My internet,
it's all good. We missed touring. We were supposed to play in, for Punk Rock Bowling. We were supposed to go back to Canada for our own tour there. We were trying to work to go to Europe for our own tour there, and everything just hit the brakes. But, we all have really good attitudes, and we're going to come out swinging with this, when this is over.
Yeah. I can't wait. I know people are getting antsy, but one thing I know for sure, and you're proving it too, is that we're going to get a just a glutton of amazing music out of this.
Absolutely.
Everybody's writing, everybody's trying to figure out new ways to do things, and there's going to be a lot of cool punk rock, and it's already showing itself. I mean, just think about this. We have, Less Than Jake with a new album out in the middle of all this, and they're doing their first ever live stream. We've got the new Counterpunch is done and ready. We can go on for days. There's so many. Our Anti-Flag brothers are doing so many cool things and different singles and all sorts of cool stuff. Barstool Preachers have a whole new album in the works, correct?
They do, yeah. And then they recorded one of the songs they did was actually just for us. But prior to that, they had a couple of songs that they did that they released like just as a benefit to the National Health Institute, and they donated all the proceeds from there. There's a song called "State of Emergency" that was really amazing, and it was just a 2-song kind of picture disc that I actually was. They didn't do very many copies of it, but I was lucky enough to pick it up off the Pirates Press website. But the songs I'm hearing from these bands like during these times that are like, we can't tour, we can't make money, we don't know how we're going to pay our bills, but somehow the artistic energy and just like the punch that comes out of it is like the difference between something like that and like a record when it's the salad day, everything's all good and everybody's all got the bills paid. Sometimes it's the records that are done through adversity that just blow the lid off of anything else you've ever heard. And I can say that what I've heard of the United Defiance tracks, like just what the hell, man, where did this come up with? And then Clint, and I know how much went into it, how many, how much perseverance from trials and from adversity that actually represents. So I mean, I hate to say this because I want COVID to be over and I want us to be able to go to shows and to be able to do great things with everyone again. But I am loving the music that's coming out of this. So
I feel like it's more genuine than it has been in more recent times, I guess you could say. Is going to a mental health aspect of it is a lot of people that had demons and they can go on tour and they can go drink and do drugs or do whatever the hell they do, to distract them from themselves. Now they had to face their demons. And now for the first time in a long time, I feel like they had to sit down and, oh yeah, this is why I do music. This is why this was my therapy. It wasn't just something I did to write records and do all this stuff. So I think we're going to start hearing some just genuine music again. And people really putting their hearts on the line, whether it's about unity or whether it's about their own demons. I really think that we're going to see a push of genuine music coming here in the next few months, especially with all the bands that are releasing stuff. I can think of a few bands. There's the Winning Streak on Thousand Islands. They just put out an amazing record. And listened to them. I listened to it like 4 times in a row the other day, and I was just like, "Holy crap! That was the first thing I thought of was just genuine music again."
Yeah. To tag in on that same thing, if you don't mind, Phil Deeds from Colorado Punk Rock Army said, "Don't forget the new record Thieves," which is on Thousand Island.
Yeah.
Also, just dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's former members. It's kind of a superstar band. It's former members of Bold Type. From Denver that were a Denver institution. Jim, one of the drummers of Authority Zero, actually in the heyday. In the original Authority Zero, they had, and they even joke in their own documentary that a multitude of drummers, but he was kind of the guy in the Adiamo and Passage in Time area. I don't think he played on Passage in Time, but he was the touring drummer for that. But they released a kind of a superstar band out of Denver, and kind of a weird moment. My bass player Todd was the original bass player on that project, but it just didn't work out, and now I've got him, so I'm even happier. So and our 6-song EP is coming soon, so hopefully
I can't wait to hear that either. And you've been tight-lipped about any of that music. I haven't heard any of it, you bastards. So
Adam
great.
Adam kind of swore us to secrecy, but it's
I gotta tell you, because Cynthia and Bruno are the 2000 Islands record
with an S.
With an S.
With an S, because every time I talk,
not the dressing.
How's Thousand Island doing? And she's like, "We're not a effing salad dressing. Like, come on." So yeah, but I'm looking forward to hearing a lot of this stuff come out, and then we have some handful of other friends in Canada too that are doing some real cool projects with. My buddy Marco, I think, is releasing some pulley stuff from Epitaph on vinyl that was never available ever.
Yeah, I thought it was coming out of Europe. I've been seeing lots of in a pulley group on Facebook that I'm in.
So Marco, he licensed the stuff through Epitaph and through Brett and Miss Brett and through their attorney, and then he wanted to try to make it available however he could. So he partnered with the folks at I think SBAM or one of those places in Europe to release it on their end, and then release it in Canada. And so I'm loving this some of the stuff that I'm seeing out of there, and some cool stuff from I think Full of Punk Rock Records too are doing some pretty awesome stuff where they're putting out vinyl that hasn't been released in a long time too, which is really cool. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm excited, but I'm loving what I'm hearing out of there. It's a really interesting place to go to, a place that like that 1997 never left. Like just pop punk, no effects and all.
Skate punk
or Epitaph or even like underground look, what I would call underground at the time. So Lookout and all that. And so being able to take, United Defiance there and being able to take, Chaser there and sort of introduce like them to whole new audiences and that absolutely adore them. And like even United Defiance is like, I mean, I think even Clinton said, God, our second time playing there's people up front and they know all the lyrics of every single song. And
that was awesome.
Yeah.
I will say, and it hasn't been much in my life, but when someone sings along with something you wrote, that's a heck of a it's a really cool feeling. So
the first time we had that experience was about 12 years ago with the original lineup. There's only 4 of us, and we were opening for, of all people, Jeffree Star. And the place is sold out, and I'd never even heard of Jeffree Star. I didn't know what was going on or what to expect. It was interesting. And but we used to have this song called Better Off Drunk, and majority of Jeffree Star's fans were all straight edge kids. We had a room full of straight edge kids singing this Better Off Drunk song with us, and it was the coolest experience. And one of them, who I had met through MySpace, was like, he walks up to me and goes, it wasn't even a message about the message of the song. The song's just so much fun and so interactive, and you guys are so interactive to sing with, and to have that many people singing our song back to us, that became like my biggest addiction. That actually, funny side story, that was actually the day that I quit doing hard drugs.
Oh, wow.
Because that was my new addiction. So I stopped doing, the stuff you see people in on the streets and stuff that's ruining other people's lives. I still play, I still party, I still have fun, but as far as the hard stuff like meth, and I got really bad on that, and that show itself saved my life. And so Punk Rock Saves Lives is there's my Punk Rock Saves Lives story.
Yep. And that's we've got so many of them. It's so cool. We've had frank discussions over the last 9 months, 10 months on here about, Brian Bonsall, the actor and guitar player and singer, was so brutally honest about his struggles and how he got through them. We've had, David from Starving Wolves and Casualties be blatantly just heartfelt about his alcoholism and how he overcame it and how he's, you know, tries to be there every day and what he can do for other people. It's just absolutely, it's beautiful when you can say, I took this on, I did it, and I beat it to move on in my life. And that's, and you know, we're not saying you can't have a drink, you can't, whatever. If just make sure you're in control in your life, and if you need help, and if you need help with that, we've got people that can help you. We can get you to the right people.
And that's why I said I still drink, I still party a little bit and have fun, but like as far as the suffering part of all that, that's done. That's over with. And like I said, that show, those kids singing back to me is what saved me.
Yeah, that's an incredible feeling. It's really cool. I can't wait to get our stuff out. I haven't recorded with anybody since 1993, so it was really
And you got me beat. My last recording was in '97 with a band. So I'm excited to hear this new stuff. I love what you said there, Clinton, and I love that music transcends those boundaries. I absolutely adore it. When I have a friend or we have someone that we all know at some point who posts and says, I quit drinking today, or today is my 3rd or my 5th or my 8th anniversary where I haven't had anything to drink. And some of these people, I mean, we all know and love, you know, Chris from Strung Out is that way. And others, but I love that music transcends that. I'm not, you know, straight edge, but I love singing along to Minor Threat. I do like wine, but one of my favorite, you know, Good Riddance, you know, lyrics when he's like, you know, but wine won't make me happy. There was a time I thought it would, I thought it could, I thought it should. And I'm like, yeah. I love that music transcends those, and I think it must be amazing to have people singing your lyrics back to you like that and have it institute such a positive change. So hell yeah, man, cool.
That's you didn't tune in knowing you were going to hear Leland sing for you.
No one wants to hear me fucking sing.
If anybody doesn't know, Leland can actually sing very well.
I didn't even know that. Damn.
Yeah, he can sing really, really well. It's just getting him to do it.
I thought about doing it on the boat with Rob, but Rob always picks the song that I was gonna sing, and then that's the only song I threw it. I'm not gonna. And then Maggie's like, "No, do it." But then by that time, Rob's like done the thing where all the streamers fell, and you know, what was it? What was it last on the boat? Was it Anarchy?
I like Anarchy.
Thing, and everybody's like, well, okay, I don't want to follow that. So
I do. I like Anarchy, and I like With Them, and I like Sonic Reducer. I do those two with Punk Rock Karaoke when I can. That's so much fun. That really, I mean, I've been lucky enough to jump up and do some back shouts with Authority Zero and with the Bunny Gang and stuff like that. And even Flogging Molly pulled me up the night my dad died to make me sing it If I Ever Lived This World Alive with them. And that stuff's great, but actually doing your thing is really, I honestly was pretty apprehensive and a little scared, to be honest. I mean, going in a studio after that long and singing in it's a deeper register than I've ever sang in, and we tried to give it a growly, old school punk feel. And Adam, if you don't know, I'm a little biased, but I think Adam Baum Siegel from The Faction is a genius. He wrote Skate and Destroy. That's all I got to say right there. And he knows how to write catchy melodies. And I'm not the world's best melody singer, but we got it where it fits. And he took, I wrote these lyrics trying to be incredibly positive. Adam went in and tweaked them and made them fit better, and then was strong enough to coach me through it. And I think we got something cool coming. We're waiting on April to do some last minute backing vocals that we've sent down to Texas. So, and then it'll be mastered and we'll go digital, and Adam is going to put it out on his record label. And if I'm not mistaken, he joked with us that we are 13. I Am Records number 13. So we'll be that weird, crazy number. Uh-oh. But I told him that should have been the Faction's new album. But if you haven't ordered that yet, guys, please go check. It's digitally ready. You can get it on all the platforms right now. The Faction went back in and recorded all of their hits on today's technology. So it's badass. So I hearing Skate and Destroy, Let's Go Get Cokes, everything with actual good recording I'm stoked. So get that. Yeah, get that while you can. But then soon after that, we'll have our stuff out too, which is I'm kind of stoked and I'm kind of scared. Y'all can blast me if you don't like it, and that's okay. That's part of being. The line from High Fidelity when John Cusack's girlfriend at the end tells him, "You've always been something of a professional admirer or fan, and now you're putting something out in the world." And that's kind of what I feel like. It's one of my favorite movies, but that line really, really stuck, and it's what I feel like right now. So I'm stoked.
You're gonna call the record Sonic Death Monkey or Dive in the Uptown Five or whatever band they went by on that movie. That's awesome.
And we're on the verge of being Kathleen Turner Overdrive.
Oh, there you go. Honestly, man, I can't wait for it. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to hearing United Defiance's new record.
Yes,
I honestly, when I think the world of Adam, and I haven't had very many opportunities to hang out with him. But when I met him and I realized, oh, this is a guy from the Faction, and I love those tunes. And then I don't know, it was just cool. He's the reason I stopped telling that joke about what do you call 1,000 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean a good start, because
he's a lawyer that actually tries to do good.
Oh yeah,
the exception that disproves the rule. Exactly. Yeah. But I'm excited to hear that stuff. I really am.
I'm stoked. I've got to drive a little more DoorDash so I can order the T-shirt too. We're kicking along. 45 minutes already. Dang, Dan, I know you don't talk a lot. Is there anything you wanted to cover this week, or
I'm
putting him on the spot.
No, I actually want to say to Clinton, thank you for being open about the meetings behind the new album and everything in your writing process, because like you said prior, it's really good to see the mental health side being spoken out more today than ever before, especially under COVID. Was in a way a forced release, but in a good way a good one. It's been a pressured bottle for so long, so it's so great to hear a band like yours bringing that out within the music, and it's really needed. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's like I said, it took a while. A couple of us went through, quite a lot of stuff. I suffer from bipolar, and so does my guitar player and my brother, George. And he went through a lot of stuff as well. But at the same time, it forced us to confront these demons. You didn't have a choice. You didn't have anything that you could go run behind, because even if you did drugs, they weren't available. But it's you basically you had to confront all this stuff, and in my life just in the last year, and that's why I brought up how I met Leland and what he has meant to me. When I first met him, I wasn't in pretty shape. I was at the worst point of my life, and drinking a lot, and basically this person showed me that there's more of a positive outlook on things. There's a lot of things that we disagree with and we argue all the time. And, but as far as in this last year, I really, started really focusing not so much on mental health, but what are you going to do? Are you still going to keep this everyday stuff the same monotonous every day? Okay, I'm suffering on Monday, I'm suffering on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, well, how about you suffer all those days, and then Friday you do something different, and then Thursday, Friday you do something different, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday you do something different, and you keep moving forward and you keep pressing forward And if I can change, and if I can pull myself out of the rut that I was in, I was a shitty person. I did a lot of bad stuff, and I'm not going to say that I live in regret, because I don't regret anything, because that doesn't do anything for you. But I live in a state of moving forward constantly, and
really
to be able to do that, it's taken me such a huge reality check. And like I said about changing the frequency, it's like when people go into a New Year's resolution and they say, "Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that," but you're not going to do anything unless you change your mindset. And I had to do a real big reality check to be able to see all this, and be not only honest with everybody around me, but honest with myself. And that's the hardest thing anybody could ever do, is be honest with yourself.
Very
You know,
true.
you can look in the mirror as you just got done lying to everybody else. But when you look in the mirror and you go like, "Hey, you don't have to lie to me, dude. Like, we're supposed to be on the same team." But sorry, I can rant about this stuff.
No,
I've
that's
been
what we want.
really big on motivational speaking. I've actually been, for the company that I work for, the sales company that I work for, I actually do a lot of sales clinics, and sales is the exchange of emotions, and so is basically just putting yourself out there in a positive way, being, undeniably yourself once you find yourself, and just keep on going with it. Undeniably confident, where you walk into a room, you might not even be a big deal, but people are going to think you're a big deal because of how high you're holding your head.
Very true. Confidence is everything. It really is.
Yep.
I went from Leland actually got to see this transition. When he first met us, we were a 4-piece, and I got to hide behind a guitar while I sang. And we had brought in another guitarist because I wasn't a great guitar player. So, natural progression. And I went to vocals, and my first couple shows, they were rough. I didn't know how to perform really, until I found that confidence, until I found that character and that confidence to portray that character, and yeah, that's trying to keep moving forward with any happiness. And I always tell everybody, you can reach out to me on my Instagram, which is at no less 1982. I have, message me if you need to talk, if you need somebody to listen to you, if you need somebody to tell you the truth. And I can never say the truth is the truth, because the truth is just a certain perspective, and that's all that is.
We brought United Defiance out to play the Redbridge Fest, and that was our very first edition, and it was so much fun because we had like acoustic, like full on acoustic nights with bands, and then we had like heavy days of rock shows on like a big, fest stage and stuff like that. And that was really cool because I had met, Clinton when he was hiding behind a guitar, and then and then later on it was like, hey, I don't need this, but I'm gonna take the positivity and the need for self-improvement, and the idea of wanting to make myself consistently better person, not just from like a character traits perspective, but also like a better performer. And so that was really cool because when they came out for Redbridge Fest the night before, so Vincent, who's my partner, he's the guy who puts everything on there, had them staying with us in this cabin that had 6 different rooms, and there was like a pool table.
Worst stairs ever.
There were some very uneven stairs. So the night before United Defiance is playing, or was it that morning?
It was that morning. It was because remember, I woke up before everybody.
All I know is I was answering phone calls, and I was on the radio. We were getting ready to drive over there and working stuff out with Authority Zero and Cigar and Face to Face and the other bands that were playing. And all of a sudden, Maggie and I are getting set to head out, and I think I was grabbing like one more cup of coffee. And I hear this like like it was right out of Ed Murphy. And, oh God, oh Lord Jesus! No, I'm just kidding. There was no calling out, but literally, I mean, it was hard, and I was like, what the hell was that? And we went, and he was literally picking himself off and had fallen down an entire flight of stairs and could not stand. And I want to say it was an hour and a half later, I watched him get on stage as a front man and just light it up in more pain than I've ever seen anybody be. And I was so proud of you in that moment. I really
Thank you.
was. Because it takes a lot to overcome pain and hurt and like to go out and represent yourself that way to a brand new audience. But I think you won over a lot of fans doing it. And that was cool. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
I love it, guys. I'm gonna start to wrap it up. I'm gonna talk about a couple of cool things that we're working on at Punk Rock Saves Lives. First off, please go check out the Punks and Pets thing that launched this morning. It's going to be a rad way. It's a great fundraiser, and you get a really cool memento of your pet. So please check that out. I don't even know. I just told Leland we actually in another one of our combo series of things, we are going to have an Earth Skateboards skate deck of Authority Zero and Punk Rock Saves Lives coming soon. There will be a T-shirt also that you can order as a bundle. And
I'll actually get one this time, right, Lynn?
And then there's I think Persona non grata behind me there. Yeah, there it is. Yep. It's always fun to try to point the right way when you're on the opposite side. And then there will be a big sale in the merch store starting tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out on that to celebrate and help us, make it through the new year and get some stuff in, pay some bills, which would be rad for the charity. So please check that out. Thank you for all your support. I know a lot of you have ordered tons of stuff from us, and we just keep trying to do some fresh new stuff. If you haven't seen the football scarf, it's pretty amazing. Our man at Spar Customs out there, Dabbles Dave, did an amazing job on that, and a new flask. As we talked about sobriety, and I'm talking about flask, but that's okay. Everybody moves in different ways, and we can all be there together. So those things are happening. They'll be rolling out here and there. You'll see all sorts of cool stuff. The big thing that Leland and I are working very hard on is we will have you a vinyl coming, a Punk Rock Saves Lives album. We haven't really decided what to call it yet, other than just Volume 1. The Punk Rock Saves Lives, the album. Perfect. But we have a few amazing bands that have already donated songs, and once we hear back from a few other artists, we'll be able to start figuring the times and whether or not we can fit on a couple of new artists like United Defiance or one of our tracks from Try. We're trying to figure that all out. We want to stay at a certain time on each side of the album. And a lot of bands have been incredible to Lynn and I both. So we're going to have a really cool vinyl for you coming soon, and it will be a colored vinyl. And we'll only do 500 to begin with. And if we do have an option with the bands that if the 500 sell out really quick, we can make sure they're cool, but do a different color of 500 more. So at most, there will only ever be 1,000 of each one. So,
and they will sell out.
Yep, we hope so.
Yeah.
With a couple of the names we have already, I am pretty sure, and I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Some bands that we truly, truly love and shocked me that we're like, yep, here you go. So pretty
live.
Yep. And
you don't know unless you ask.
And it's only going to be vinyl, guys. We are letting the bands maintain the digital aspect of that. So for us as a fundraiser, it'll be just these vinyls. And even if you don't have a vinyl, this will be one that you'll probably want to collect. So that's coming. And all right, so how I tend to wrap it up every week is to see what has been going on out there in the in our brains, these four of us tonight. And sometimes there's 6 of us, sometimes there's more. But we want to give you some stuff that we've been digging, either music, live streams. David just brought up Chaser. We love Tracer.
Yeah.
And and David Cousins is out that's been commenting all night. So thank you, brother. And he loves you, Clinton. So I just
Punky Monkey Productions.
Oh, yes, he is. He is actually. And he wants he said we need a United Defiance skate deck. and I know some people called Earth that can probably make that happen.
Yes,
rad.
So we'll work on that. That's Jason DeVore and Clay Lake's skate company, and they do own the old rights to Earth, and they're the new Earth, and it's awesome. So,
lawyer that I absolutely adore.
oh yeah.
Oh, I mean,
but
I'm gonna stop telling lawyer jokes altogether.
Clay's a lawyer, but does he actually do any lawyering?
Always wondered.
I've never fallen off the get me a hell of a settlement. That's all I'm gonna say.
All I can tell you about Clay, guys, the owner of Earth Skateboards, it blows my mind. He's one of my best friends, but I've been out with him in different cities, and he takes me to all these different bars, and he's like, yeah, I own 1% of this bar. And he really does. He puts money into a bunch of, he owns 1% of a ton of bars in Vegas and Austin, Texas, and all this. So it's Clay is the biggest character you'll ever meet. He's one of the most amazing people, and his love of skate. I mean, the fact that Earth only has 4 to 6 skaters out there doing it, and they have Jeremy Green, who Tony Hawk tries to steal for Birdhouse or whatever Tony's
regularly.
Yeah, he literally tries to take Jeremy from him, and there's Jeremy's signature board right there, the black and white one behind me. But Jeremy doesn't want to leave Earth because it's Clay, and he gets anything he wants, and he doesn't seem to be driven by being the biggest, and he's probably the best skater, the new best skater out there. I mean, obviously, we're tied directly with Caballero and Stedham and everybody that's involved with us, but man, Jeremy Green rips.
Clay was the guy that came up to us when we were on the boat, and he goes, I wanted to introduce you to this guy. And there's this guy that was standing next to him whose face, he looked vaguely familiar, but I didn't recognize him at first. And he's like, hey, this is my friend, Leland. And this is when we were doing music for Cancer. And he's like, these guys are great. And here's all the stuff they do. And I wanted to introduce you to this guy, Danny Way. And I was like, the guy where I used to get Transworld skateboarding, there was a 5-page foldout of him jumping out of a helicopter and landing on stuff. And I was just like, I don't get starstruck very often, but that was like, dude, it is so nice to meet you. That was great.
Yeah. I mean, just think about, was it last year out on the island on the cruise, all the skaters and the skate announcers and everything were all hanging and being crazy, and Clay's like taking us over there, and they acted like they were stoked to see us, and I'm like going, there's right. I don't get starstruck outside, but on the inside I'm like, I've seen these guys do such amazing things and bite it so bad. I appreciate that, because I have fallen on a skateboard more than I ever care to admit. And to know how to do it or survive is pretty amazing. All right, so we're going to start with Dan. Dan, what's been floating your boat? What do people need to check out this week to help them have a PMA good week?
So earlier today, I came across a podcast called Creative Processing by the actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I probably listened to about 6 hour-and-a-half long podcast today, straightforward. Pretty much the idea of it is a generalized. He has like his community on Hit Record, the company that he created. That pretty much they ask them a question that can be answered through any form of arts, whether it's music, whether it's the creative arts of writing and such, to acting, that can be versatile through all of it and have somebody answer it. So like one of them was Shepard Fairey of Obey and the Obama poster famed for, and talking about like whatever they did to Seth Rogen, to just all these other people throughout that he's friends with. And I thought it was just a great way to understand their creative writing process and how they came to be in a deeper level than a simple 5-minute interview you'll just see online or typed up. So highly recommend.
He's a positive dude, isn't he?
He is phenomenal. Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah, I like everything he's ever done, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right on. I'll have to check that out. That's awesome.
All right, let's skip down to Clinton. Clinton, what's been blowing up your mind lately?
Actually, my boss at my job got me a book called How to Win Friends and Motivate People or Influence People.
Was that
And
Bill?
one of the big things, it's an amazing book. I recommend it. It was written in the early 1900s, and it's just been kind of edited and edited and edited. And one of the things that I've caught that, and Leland can tell you this, I used to be the worst person to talk to because I'd interrupt you constantly. And so what I've learned from this book is listening to people talk. And I've had people go away, oh man, you're a great conversationalist. I'm like, I didn't even say anything. So get to what we're talking about is what's been motivating me lately is just listening to people, which nowadays is it can kind of go one of two ways. It can be a pleasant situation, or it can be have somebody yelling at their point of view. But I've also been listening to a lot of Matt Wilson. If you guys can check him out, he's really cool. He's from England, I believe, or Great Britain. Motivational speaker. He does a lot of straightforward, change your mind style of speaking. And listening to ironically darker music. I grew up in not the greatest way of growing up, and the first band I ever really truly fell in love with was Blood for Blood, because for once I didn't feel alone. I felt like all this anger that I was this guy on the outcasted, and I didn't feel alone from this band. And so lately I found myself going back and listening to some of that older stuff, some of that older hardcore, the Hoods, and older Hatebreed stuff like that has really been helping me. And then I would honestly say that the camaraderie that I've seen in between bands lately has really been pushing me. And if there are other bands out there that are struggling to find that, there's a ton of bands out there that are really, really into helping each other. Shout outs to the guys from Chaser. They are all about helping other bands and shouting out to other people. And just an amazing group of guys. It's not about, oh, we're at this plateau or not plateau, but we're at this level, or this level like it was in the 2000s. And now it's like you're seeing a lot more bands kind of help each other out. And my biggest thing that I say through a lot of my videos that I make is salvation is through unity. And that's how I believe that we will get through all of this, is if we stick together.
Love that. Leland, what's blowing up your deck or whatever you're using right now?
So. Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to hearing some of this new music that's coming out. I know the Barstool Preachers recorded some new tracks. I'm looking forward to hearing that. I'm looking forward to hearing a lot of stuff that's coming out. I am reading a book right now that a man named Eric Larson wrote called The Splendid and the Vile. And it is I don't know when somebody writes a historical biography that's like historical, but based on like letters and that's what Eric Larson does. If you don't know who he is, he wrote a book called The Devil in the White City that was all about it was all about the Chicago World's Fair, like transposed alongside the story of the killer that hunted most of his victims there. But The Splendid and the Vile is about Churchill, Winston Churchill and his family, and about the UK, population as a whole when the Nazis started dropping bombs on them every single night over and over and over again, and how they kept their strength and maintained their resiliency and learned to rise above walking past just constant death and destruction. And it's been real helpful to me during this time because we're all fighting some hard times, and we're wondering if there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So reading personal life accounts and personal stories about people who've been through it and have found a way to and had found a way at the time to just bypass some of the worst scenarios imaginable and hope for a brighter and better tomorrow is really cool. So yeah, check that out if you get a chance. It's called The Splendid and the Vile. It's Eric Larson, and it's relatively new. I want to say it came out a couple months ago. And then lastly, my buddy Ken sent me a rec. Ken's a good dude. He used to work a lot with Authority Zero. He manages Save Ferris and TSOL and HR, and he sent me this record that I love, that I've absolutely been loving. Sorry, I will pull this back so you can see it, but it's HR. It's our man from Bad Brains, and it's a record called Give Thanks, and it has some amazing tracks on it. Some amazing positivity. It is a reggae album, not a album, but I absolutely love stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, check it out if you get a chance.
HR's just a hero, so it's amazing. So all right, so on mine, and this kind of brings Clinton into play too. I want everybody to go check out, and they're having trouble doing them right now because obviously bands are touring, but Bridge City Sessions out of Portland. There you can get it, believe it or not, you can download it on I know it's on Amazon Fire Stick. If you do that, you can download their channel, and I know you guys did United Defiance did a whole series on there that was great.
We did 2 sessions with them.
Yep. Our awesome friends the Venomous Pinks have done on there, and there's just tons of live content of bands going through Portland, and they'll offer them a chance to come in and play. They recorded it. Sounds great. It looks great. If you want some tunes, go check out the Bridge City Sessions.
Is that Nick? Is that his name?
Nick Wilson.
Yep, there you go.
He just strikes me as like one of the nicest guys, and a guy that like is in it because he loves it and because he wants to show people, just showcase like amazing talent. Because I think didn't Cigar do something with them too?
Yeah, they did. Nick is an awesome guy. The last time we went up, we did a session that morning, and then played a show that night. We had first time we'd ever headlined a show in Portland, and we're like, "Why are we headlining?" He's like, "Just trust me, just trust me." And I think we played in front of 100 people. Like, it was a blast, and he took really, really good care of us. And he's always great to everybody. Their whole crew is amazing, very professional. It's a really fun experience. Not so much when your guitar player tells you he's leaving right before you go in the room, but if you watch the first session, we're all excited. If you watch the second session, there's some tension in those videos.
Yeah. Did they say something about Takeover Live too? Is live streaming shows and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, the Takeover Live is done by Ben. I can't think of his last name. My mind's taking a break. But Takeover Live, Ben Harper from he used to play for Yellow Card. And it was engineered by Jamie McCann from he used to work at Motor Studios, and they were awesome. We had such a blast with them doing the live stream, and it was funny because we're doing our sound check, and we're if you ever get a chance to work with us, especially live, Leland knows this, we're helpful, but we're also playful. Like, we joke around about everything, and we're doing our sound check, and from the other room, this guy goes, what does that sound like to you? And I'm like, I don't know. You're the fucking Grammy winner. How does it sound?
So Rob, if you didn't know this, Sasha, Clinton's guitar player, is like one of the most amazing magicians I've ever in my life. The kind of guy that goes to LA and doesn't have any place to stay, so he goes and stays at the Magic Castle. The Magic Castle. And I'm like, that's insane. So they get on to play this Takeover Live show, and he is literally reading chapters of Charles Dickens' Great Expectations, like at the beginning of each song. And it was just so unexpected, but so hilarious at the same time.
Sasha's definitely brought out the performance side of us. I remember the first SoCal tour we did Bakersfield, LA, and a lot of these kind of older punk rock guys, and Sasha he's full on makeup and all that stuff. He's a performer. That's what he does. And, we the first time these guys kind of grumbled, these older guys, and then they watch him play and perform, and they're like, holy crap, and then they get to know the guy, and he is just one of the most amazing people I've ever met. He has brought out so much in myself. But like I said, he's really upped the game of United Defiance as far as a performance and how much fun we have. And yeah, it's been a fun ride. I definitely want to shout out to my other bandmates, our new bass player, R2, Rod Rodriguez. We call him R2. And Danny Tuggle, our drummer, and George Renoops, my brother, our other guitar player. They're all doing good. They send their love to everybody.
Perfect. My last thing this week is I want you all to go back and listen to 7 Seconds, Walk Together, Rock Together.
Favorite record ever.
It made me a lot of the man that I try to be every day. And I think in this day and time with struggling and racism and everything like that, it's still recording value obviously is not great, but one of the most amazing albums, amazing lyrics. 7 Seconds is not only a hero, but just an amazing guy. He does tons of art. Check out his art. It's really, really cool. Everybody, I want to thank y'all for coming on tonight. It was a great conversation.
Thank you for having me.
It also feels like we could have gone for hours, but we covered some really cool stuff. And we reminisced about some really cool stuff, and we got some good information out there. That's what these are about. And they're meant to bring, hopefully some, not solace, but some to everybody out there stuck. We beg of you to stay in your houses as much as you can. Obviously, life, you have to go. Some of us have to work, stuff like that. Just be careful. Wear a mask. Respect your other fellow humans. Give people the 6 foot break in places. If you're in the grocery store, just give people a little room. It doesn't. I went in a grocery store 2 days ago, and I felt like I was shocked at how close people were together, and I was like, I don't want to be scared of life, but I got COVID, guys. It put me in the hospital. I don't want anybody to go through what Tina and I just went through, along with some of our friends. And it wasn't. He had cancer, but the COVID took him down. But I want everybody to remember Mr. John Elliott. We all lost a friend. I've got a few of these stickers we did on the play of the Never Forget Tony Sly. If you're in Denver, get a hold of me and I'll get you one of these stickers. I can't ship them. They're just really meant for the Denver community per se. But I just want to get them out there because I don't want anybody to ever forget somebody that biggest heart in the music business. He wanted to take care of all of our bands and all of our charities and that's what John was about. I tell it every week. It's a hard time right now. We're hitting the holiday season, which is a typically hard time for a lot of people mentally. And we're going to be, if you're following the so-called rules right now, you might not get to see your family tomorrow. You might not get to see your family for Christmas, Hanukkah, all Kwanzaa, all the holidays that we normally gather. They're suggesting that we don't. So there's going to be a lot of people down, even beyond what the normal holiday season is. We are here. We are a phone call away. I say it every week. My phone number is on my Facebook page. It's on the website, I'm sure. If not, you can get me pretty easily. We're not the professionals. Dan is the closest thing we have to a professional, and he just studies everything. But we will be that first line to talk to you and find you the help that you need. We've got amazing organizations we can move to. Oh, forgot when we brought up Hope for the Day earlier, having their coffee, A Voice for the Innocent, another group that we absolutely love, have a digital album out right now that you can download with a lot of amazing bands. So check that out. It kind of blew me away because I didn't know they were doing one and we were doing one, but you can never have enough music. So
yeah.
So please check that out. Amazing people that will stand in your way. We're here for you. We love you. It's okay to tell other people in your life, your friends, your platonic friends, you love them.
Absolutely.
April popped up a minute ago, so if she's still watching, April, the Shoopster out of Austin. She's our drummer. She's the drummer for
Such
Sniper.
an amazing drummer.
Oh God, she is so,
So
good.
good.
And I can't wait. I can't wait for you to hear what we did. I'm stoked about it. Go ahead, Glenn.
Go ahead.
Or who was that, Leland or?
No, it's I wanted to say something, but it's okay, man. Go ahead, Clint.
I was gonna say real quick, if you have to go out to grocery stores, because I work in behind the scenes in grocery stores and bigger retail environments, have a lot of patience for those workers. Trust me, they don't want to be there. Just keep, when you're in line and people are being dicks, just be patient. You don't ever know where people are going through. You don't know if that person that rung you up that's kind of being rude to you, if they just dealt with 15 straight assholes. You don't know what they're going through. We have a very small grocery store where I live in Rio Vista, and we're all friends with all those cashiers, and we watch every day as they lose a little bit more of themselves every day. And so me and my we always try and go in there and kind of uplift them and joke around with them and make them feel human again. Yeah. So I'm just saying, to any essential worker that you have to be in contact with or deal with, have a lot of patience. Have a lot of patience with everybody. We're not going anywhere.
Also, on that same vein, as someone that does drive delivers you food to your house during a pandemic, I know money is tight for everybody, but if you're ordering, tip your drivers, tip your servers. If you're going, tip if you can. It's really shocking to me how little people tip anymore. And there's, we're taking a chance being out there to make money and to bring you food. Please remember that. It's there's, even if you take, and don't forget like your postman and stuff like that, go buy a $25 gift card and throw it in your mailbox for your postman or something. Yeah. They're out there, they're out there doing stuff when the rest of us really want to lock down. So just, and Leland, you had one more thing and we got to get out of here. So,
our friends who are in the service industry, our friends who are delivering, our friends who are stocking grocery stores, working grocery stores, our friends who are tirelessly, nurses and doctors and folks working in hospitals, man, they're not getting any breaks. They're working 12, 15, sometimes 18-hour shifts. Smile at them, even if you don't have anything to smile about for yourself, but smile at them and realize that you're living through an unprecedented time. And I was just going to say, the only other thing I was going to add is, if you can find something small, no matter how small it is, that makes you smile or makes you look back on something with fondness or gives you hope for the future, find it and embrace it and run with it. If it's a song, if it's a TV show, Dan will probably agree with me here, but I had a friend send me this popcorn, and you can't see it. This is popcorn from Garrett Popcorn Shop, which is ago, and it is amazing. And it's just little bags of popcorn, but I'm telling you what, this caramel cheese corn will change your life. So find something small, and plus reach out to us if there's anything at all that we can do for you, or even if you just need somebody to talk to. That's all I got.
That's what we're all about. Look at that. Look at that. One of our board members is watching. Look at Renee. Thank you, Renee. And April did come in and say she loved us all. That's pretty rad. Guys, I close every week with a couple of words, and they are adamantly true, and please do it. One love, up the punks. I love you all. Good night. Be strong. Enjoy tomorrow. Even if you don't believe in the holiday, give thanks for what you have good in your life. Everybody's got some good. So think about it that way. Think it's that. And we won't get into the politics of whether the holiday was a joke or whatever. But I went further than I meant to there. But one love, and I'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.
Night. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.